Welcome back to Apologize. Let's continue. I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Tuss's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter isn't going scarred with a revolver that size. The playback is enough to disclose your shoulder if you're an amateur. But wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting the revolver? Ha, you're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Bushland. I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had a firearm training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard firearm issued police officer is a 48 caliber weapon. Not just tame beast, also the wooden weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Taos, which suggests there was a struggle between the killer and the victim. So the killer might have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? A thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, there's a witness having to say to this. Detective Crescent. What I want to ask is what Mr. C's rolled up already reaction is to say. Hey you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You get a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you've acknowledged guitar cue miss due to a 45 caliber kickback. I wait for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak piece of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. That's the obvious truth. This has a point. The witness' arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. Olivia should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your weakness why you couldn't have done it. Proof of innocence. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy, I got no motive, man. It was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know our manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Professor Gavin, is this the case Mr. Taos had not... Is it the case that Mr. Taos had not been to our country before? Going to your records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. The judge has made criminal classification. Great. Now I need to find a motive. You don't have a motive, huh? But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him. Come on, he traveled around the road, that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. More should than I did. I mean, think about it. His first trip to the country... You sure about that? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you tried throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so you forget who you're accusing of what. Have forehead. Perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking. Come on, what evidence? That's what I want to know. You're doing this motive question as ammunition, huh? Well, what ammunition, too? Evidence. Evidence, huh? I mean... He was an Interpol agent. And he was here to look after this thing. You know, I never looked at this article before. About the Chief Justice's son. Huh. I mean, if you had a motive, I can't prove anything else. Besides having this replica, he was looking for this replica. Like smugglers. I mean, I'll give it a go. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? What's that candy? It's not. Don't lick it, please. Never seen this. Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found amongst the victim's belongings. A cocoon, never seen one that color. It was a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. House. Does it? It does. Wait. I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon is one of those silky cocoons. The kind that you can make, well, a silk out of. Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative for what? Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is only a medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. Whatever for? With such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. Looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture them ready from the cocoon. If you change the process only slightly, you can at least make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of those got out to the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community. While the melee was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. Well, this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One originally enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol. Right. The victim Norman Lathas was an Interpol agent. That percent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. That is misleading. When Lathas wasn't killed as a manager, he was killed as an undercover agent. So he's trying to smuggle the gumball into the country. That's what you're trying to say. I'm saying that it could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. Totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? But it's time for another testimony. On this smuggling of cocoons business. Cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. And everyone's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. And put one of these cocoons so bad enough to send to a test undercover. You can think of the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb. Just get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noblest statements, but duly noted. According to the reports, the cocoon's top Interpol's list. Selling these to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the examination. This is the only motive I've got. Except to something. I'm gonna find out what. Let's go start from the top. The memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. Everyone's scared now. You gotta know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, I'd never heard of them. Well, the more I knew about them, although not their use. My reports indicate there may be ongoing efforts to control the information about the cocoons. Most people know they're illegal to export, that's all. Then I wouldn't be best surprised after all. You could say people like me knew about them or a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in the international affairs, man. Everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah. You can't sell them, but you could make a poison out of them. Or you could cure somebody with it. Wait. Hold on a minute. The Chief Justice's son has the disease. Interesting. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to the black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's deadly poison being extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. Not a cure for just any disease. A cure for Incurus. Incurus? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You weren't saying... When is this a detective? You would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying Chief Justice would never deal in contraband, not even to save his own son's life. But even if the deal went through, well, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Christian's insurance. If word ever got out, the one in the neck in the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Christian, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Tasteful is to think about if the Chief Justice were the buyer, while a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let thieves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginia Customs barely sleeps, they're so worried about who's getting out. So we were informed. Continue with the test cross-examination. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the grounds for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They're even confiscating gun jobs and marshmallows. Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them. That's right, Gavin was in Virginia, wasn't he? We were setting up the middle detector several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Just a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glamorous fop. That's pretty extreme. Virginia has this rep as a idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore security. Public of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country, so this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's a situation. I'm in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But when we get our reports on the failed smuggling ops, not really something you want to go copying. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I'd be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course. I hate for a judicial system. This be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. A way to get them out of there, huh? You can't fly them on planes. Because they'll get checked. You know, this thing was gift wrapped and sent with a special service not available to other people from Virginia. If you slipped a cocoon or two on there, I don't think it would be checked because it's evidence in quotation marks. Objection! Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get things out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. The carpeting woman liked them more. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. This guitar is from Virginia. That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in the Moore studio. We used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. We're seeing it untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched. Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed to Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying the guitar was... with cocoons this small? It would have been very easy. These are guitars are made to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin. The guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Heffohead. Well, do you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called a sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact. An igniter. Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if igniter wasn't the only thing attached to your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. Ah! There's a way to get a cocoon out of the country. You can use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. Who better to do that than with access? Like a member of the band. Yo! Order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. There's a safety precaution. A precaution? Heffohead. Unless it all comes together. Very strange thing that happened today. Here to review. Maestro, the general sounds of Mirror's valid, if you may. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor. This forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only member of the band could get near that case. Wrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. When the concert began, right print this time, the very last part presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Lighthouse. Mr. Lighthouse, America for Agent was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. You only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Lighthouse tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then jig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch. Now. The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Lighthouse died. With the more there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Take the crescent. I gotta know, you make all these up on the fly? A made-up story. It makes a great deal of sense, Daryan. The Republic of Virginia. Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. And I hid the cocoon in the first place, huh? Not so hard to imagine. You would help, Virginian accomplice. That's all. You and an accomplice. It was clear from the start. The voice of Lamar who had proved it. It's over. Press the switch, now. You made a transmission from backstage. While your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. For once, I know what I'm doing. The only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. You'll give your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? I mean, it has to be Machi. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of this accomplice. And the person is the defendant, Machi Tobai. But, Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing his client. That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Lighthouse. I said by my statement that he's innocent of the particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is a Virginian. He does meet the basic requirement to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamar? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Well, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, the mower was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that the mower couldn't have done the deed. No, when the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Pressure Gavin and the Moore standing were in the air. They're in a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked to remote his position in the air vent. Well, Detective Grisend, what do you say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective. We see that video where Gavin's guitar burns. Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me there's a way out of this. Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk! First you were sleeves, now you're kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What are you supposed to see in this video? We'll find out next time, so until then.